You're sitting across from someone, wanting to understand what they're really thinking. Instead of guessing or analyzing complex body language, you can look straight into their soul with just 5 simple questions. Reading someone's mind isn't magic or natural talent. It's a learnable skill based on a fundamental psychological principle. Most people hide their thoughts, but they also desperately crave to be deeply understood. And that's exactly the key that unlocks their inner world. I'm not here to teach you manipulation or how to invade someone's privacy. I'm going to share how to understand deeply in order to connect more authentically. Socrates once said, "Know thyself is the beginning of all wisdom." But understanding others is an equally important form of wisdom. The difference between surface-level conversation and true connection lies in asking the right questions. Most people ask what someone does for work or where they're from. But the questions I'm about to share bypass small talk entirely and reveal the person behind the persona. Today, I'm sharing 5 questions that help you understand anyone's true thoughts. The third question is particularly powerful because it reveals the core values they usually keep most hidden, the things they only share with people they truly trust. If this resonates, subscribe so we don't lose each other on this path of Stoic clarity. Let's begin. Question number 1. What's been the highlight of your week so far? The first question reveals what truly energizes them. This seemingly casual inquiry is actually a psychological probe that cuts straight to someone's values, priorities, and what brings them genuine joy. While most people ask, "How's your week going?" and get generic responses like busy or fine, this question forces them to identify something specific that made them feel good. The brilliance of this question lies in its simplicity and safety. It's not invasive or personal, yet it reveals incredibly personal information. When someone tells you their weekly highlight, they're essentially telling you what they pay attention to, what they consider worthy of mention, and what genuinely matters to them in their daily life. I discovered the power of this question during a coffee meeting with a new colleague several years ago. Instead of the usual work-focused small talk, I asked her, "What's been the highlight of your week so far?" She paused for a moment, then her face lit up as she said, "Honestly, it was helping my neighbor move furniture yesterday. She's elderly and was struggling, so I spent my Saturday helping her get settled into her new apartment." That single answer told me everything I needed to know about her character. She didn't mention a work achievement, a personal accomplishment, or something that benefited her directly. Her highlight was helping someone else, which revealed that she values service over success, relationships over recognition, and finds genuine joy in making others' lives easier. 6 months later, when I needed someone reliable for a collaborative team project, I immediately thought of her. Her response to that simple question had shown me she was someone who would prioritize the team's success over personal glory. I was right. She became one of the most dependable and selfless team members I've ever worked with. The beauty of this question is how it reveals different personality types instantly. Career-focused people will mention work achievements, promotions, or professional breakthroughs. Relationship-oriented individuals talk about connections with family, friends, or meaningful conversations. Adventure seekers describe experiences, travels, or new discoveries. Family-centered people share moments with their children or spouse. But it's not just what they say, it's how they say it. Pay attention to the energy shift when they describe their highlight. Their voice changes, their posture shifts, their eyes light up. You're witnessing them connect with what truly matters to them, and that energy tells you more about their authentic self than any resume or social media profile ever could. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself in your way of thinking." This question reveals what that very little is for each person. For some, it's achievement and recognition. For others, it's connection and service. Some people light up when talking about learning something new, while others come alive when describing moments of peace and solitude. I've used this question in job interviews, first dates, networking events, and casual conversations, and it never fails to provide insight. A potential business partner once told me his highlight was finally organizing my garage and seeing everything in its place. That told me he valued order, completion, and had a systematic approach to problems. When we later worked together, those traits proved invaluable for project management. Another time, someone's highlight was discovering this amazing hole-in-the-wall restaurant that nobody knows about. This revealed someone who values unique experiences, has curiosity about hidden gems, and probably enjoys being the first to discover things. Understanding this helped me connect with them through shared discoveries and recommendations. The question also reveals people's time orientation. Some focus on recent accomplishments, showing they live in the present. Others mention things they're building toward, revealing future-focused thinking. Some talk about revisiting favorite activities, showing they value consistency and proven pleasures. Listen not just to what they say, but to what they don't say. If someone struggles to answer or says, "I can't think of anything," that's equally revealing. It might indicate they're going through a difficult period, they don't often reflect on positive moments, or they're so focused on problems that they miss the good things happening around them. The timing of their highlight also matters. Did it happen at work, at home, alone, or with others? During planned activities or spontaneous moments? These details paint a picture of when and where they're most likely to experience fulfillment. This simple question opens a window into their soul and sets the foundation for deeper understanding. Once you know what energizes someone, you can better predict their reactions, motivations, and the kind of relationship they'll value with you. Understanding what energizes them is powerful, but our second question reveals something equally important: how they handle growth and change. Question number 2. What's something you used to believe that you don't believe anymore? This question reveals their capacity for growth and self-awareness. While the first question shows what energizes them now, this one uncovers their intellectual humility, how they process change, and their ability to evolve over time. It also reveals their openness to admitting they were wrong, which is one of the strongest indicators of emotional maturity and character depth. The psychological power of this question lies in what it demands from the person answering. To respond thoughtfully, they must demonstrate self-reflection, acknowledge fallibility, and show comfort with personal growth. These are qualities that separate rigid thinkers from adaptable learners and closed minds from open ones. I learned the value of this question during a job interview when I was hiring for a leadership position. The candidate had impressive credentials and gave polished answers to standard questions, but I wanted to understand how he handled being wrong. When I asked what he used to believe that he no longer believed, he paused thoughtfully and said, "I used to think that working longer hours automatically meant being more productive. I'd stay at the office until 9 p.m. every night and felt superior to colleagues who left at 5. But I learned that focused work in fewer hours gets much better results, and those lazy colleagues were often more effective than I was." This answer revealed several crucial things about his character. First, he was willing to admit he had been wrong about something fundamental to his work philosophy. Second, he showed he could learn from observation and experience rather than just defending his original position. Third, he demonstrated humility by acknowledging that he had unfairly judged his colleagues. Most importantly, he proved he could change his behavior based on new understanding. That candidate got the job, and over 3 years of working together, his ability to evolve and adapt made him one of our most effective leaders. His answer to that single question had predicted his success better than any technical assessment could have. The beauty of this question is how it separates different types of people immediately. Some people answer quickly and enthusiastically, sharing multiple belief changes and showing they view intellectual evolution as natural and positive. Others hesitate or struggle, either because they haven't reflected much on their own growth or because they're uncomfortable admitting they've been wrong about anything. I once asked this question to someone I was considering as a business partner. After a long pause, he said, "I can't really think of anything. I've always been pretty good at figuring things out from the start." That answer told me everything I needed to know. This was someone who either lacked self-awareness or was too proud to admit fallibility. Either way, it suggested he would be difficult to work with when challenges arose that required adaptation or compromise. In contrast, the most impressive people often light up when asked this question because it gives them permission to share their growth story. One person told me, "I used to believe that asking for help was a sign of weakness. I thought I had to figure everything out myself to prove I was capable. Now I realize that asking for help is actually a sign of wisdom. It shows you value results more than ego." Seneca taught us, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. This question reveals how comfortable someone is with endings, the ending of old beliefs, old ways of thinking, old versions of themselves. People who handle these transitions gracefully tend to be resilient, adaptable, and pleasant to work with during times of change. Pay attention to whether they show shame or pride when describing their belief evolution. Healthy, mature people frame changing their mind as growth, not failure. They might say things like, "I learned," or "I discovered," rather than "I was wrong," or "I made a mistake." This language choice reveals their relationship with personal development. The content of their answer also matters significantly. Someone who used to believe nice guys finish last, but learned that kindness is actually strength shows different character development than someone who used to believe money doesn't matter, but learned that financial security provides important freedom. Both represent growth, but they reveal different value systems and life experiences. Some people share belief changes about relationships, showing they've learned important lessons about human connection. Others focus on professional or academic beliefs, revealing they're driven by achievement and competence. Still others discuss philosophical or spiritual evolution, indicating they think deeply about meaning and purpose. This question also reveals their learning style. Do they change beliefs based on personal experience, research and study, feedback from others, or dramatic life events? Understanding how they process new information helps you communicate with them more effectively in the future. People who can't answer this question at all often fall into two categories: those who haven't done much self-reflection and those who are too rigid or proud to acknowledge growth. Both types can be challenging to build deep relationships with because growth and adaptability are essential for navigating life's inevitable changes together. Understanding their growth mindset is valuable, but our third question cuts straight to their core values in a way that bypasses all social defenses. If you've ever changed a belief that once defined you, comment "evolved" below to remind yourself that wisdom comes from admitting when we were wrong. Let's continue. Question number 3. If you could change one thing about how people treat each other, what would it be? This question bypasses their defenses and reveals their deepest values. It's a values excavation tool disguised as a hypothetical question, and it's arguably the most powerful of the 5 because it cuts straight to what matters most to them in human relationships. When people answer this question, they're essentially telling you their relationship philosophy, their pain points, and their highest ideals, all in one response. The genius of this question lies in how safe it feels. They're not talking about themselves directly or revealing personal vulnerabilities, they're discussing humanity in general. This psychological safety allows them to share their deepest convictions without feeling exposed. Yet their answer reveals their personal experiences with being hurt, their core values, and what they believe makes relationships work or fail. I discovered the power of this question when I was considering someone as a business partner several years ago. We'd had several meetings about potential collaboration, but I still wasn't sure if our values aligned. During dinner one evening, I asked him this question. He paused thoughtfully and said, "I wish people would stop making promises they don't intend to keep." There's something corrosive about casual commitments that people break without even thinking about it. That answer told me everything I needed to know about his character. Reliability and integrity weren't just concepts to him. They were core values that he'd clearly been hurt by in the past. His frustration with broken promises revealed that he took commitments seriously and expected others to do the same. It also showed me that trust was foundational to how he operated in relationships. 2 years later, that insight proved invaluable. He became the most dependable partner I've ever worked with, someone who would call if he was going to be 5 minutes late to a meeting and who always delivered exactly what he promised. His answer to that single question had revealed the blueprint of his character. The beauty of this question is how it reveals different personality types and their core concerns. Some people focus on kindness. I wish people would be more compassionate. Others emphasize honesty. I wish people would say what they actually mean instead of being passive-aggressive. Some highlight respect. I wish people would listen to understand instead of just waiting for their turn to talk. Each answer reveals not just what they value, but what they've likely experienced the absence of. The person who wants more compassion has probably been treated harshly. The one who craves honesty has likely been deceived or manipulated. The person who desires better listening has probably felt unheard and misunderstood. I once asked this question to someone who immediately responded, "I wish people would stop judging others for things they can't control." This revealed someone who had likely experienced unfair judgment, values acceptance and equality, and probably has deep empathy for marginalized or struggling people. When I later worked with her on a team project, these qualities made her exceptional at conflict resolution and creating inclusive environments. Another person answered, "I wish people would follow through on their commitments to themselves, not just to others." This showed someone who understood that self-respect underlies all other relationships, who valued personal integrity, and who probably struggled with people who made excuses or lacked self-discipline. Epictetus said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." This question helps you know who they are by revealing what they value most in human interaction. It shows you their relationship template, the standards they hold for themselves and others, and the behaviors that will either build or destroy trust with them. Pay attention to both what they want more of and what they want less of in human behavior. Someone who says, "I wish people would be more grateful," reveals they value appreciation and probably feel taken for granted. Someone who says, "I wish people would stop trying to fix everyone," shows they value acceptance and might have been on the receiving end of unwanted advice. The emotional tone of their answer is equally revealing. Some people respond with frustration or pain, indicating they've been deeply hurt by the behavior they want to change. Others answer with hope and optimism, showing they believe in human potential for growth. Still others respond with resignation, suggesting they've accepted that people won't change but wish things were different. This question also reveals their scope of thinking. Do they focus on individual behaviors like kindness or honesty, or do they think systemically about issues like inequality or justice? Their answer shows whether they see relationship problems as personal failings or broader social issues. Listen for both the explicit answer and the underlying message. When someone says, "I wish people would be more patient," they're often really saying, "I wish people would be more patient with me." When they say, "I wish people would be more direct," they're usually revealing their own communication style and preferences. This question reveals their relationship philosophy in one answer, but knowing their values is just the beginning. Our fourth question reveals how they handle pressure and unexpected situations. Question number 4. What's a decision you made that surprised even yourself? This question reveals their capacity for growth and self-surprise. It uncovers their willingness to step outside their comfort zone, their relationship with risk, and whether they're capable of acting against their own established patterns, a crucial indicator of adaptability and personal courage. I discovered the power of this question during a team meeting with colleagues I thought I knew well. When I asked this question, Sarah, a quiet team member who always seemed conservative and risk-averse, surprised everyone. She said, "I quit my corporate job to start a food truck," which shocked everyone, including me. I'd never even cooked professionally, but something inside me needed to create something with my own hands. That answer completely changed how I saw her. The reserved person I thought I knew had hidden entrepreneurial fire and willingness to take massive risks when something truly mattered to her. It revealed courage, creativity, and self-trust that weren't visible in her day-to-day behavior. When we later needed someone to lead an innovative project, I thought of Sarah first. The beauty of this question is how it separates truly self-aware people from those who live unconsciously. People who can answer readily have been paying attention to their own growth and are comfortable with personal evolution. Those who struggle often live within rigid self-concepts and may resist change. I once asked someone who said, "I've never really done anything that surprised me. I'm pretty consistent in my choices." While consistency can be valuable, this revealed someone who might lack flexibility and rarely pushes beyond established boundaries. In contrast, dynamic people often light up at this question. One person told me, "I'm naturally introverted and hate public speaking, but I surprised myself by volunteering to give a presentation at a major conference. Not only did I survive it, but I actually enjoyed connecting with the audience." This revealed self-awareness about natural tendencies, willingness to face fears, capacity for growth, and ability to find unexpected joy in challenges. These qualities predict success in situations requiring adaptability and courage. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Adapt yourself to the life you've been given, but love the people with whom you share it." This question shows how they adapt and evolve, revealing their relationship with change and personal growth. Pay attention to whether they describe their surprising decision with pride, regret, or curiosity. Healthy people typically view self-surprises with pride and amazement, seeing them as evidence of growth capacity. Those expressing regret might struggle with risk-taking, while those showing curiosity often have growth mindsets. The content matters too. Someone who surprised themselves by standing up to authority shows hidden courage. Someone who pursued a creative passion reveals depth beyond surface appearances. Someone who helped a stranger shows buried compassion. Notice whether their surprising decision came from external pressure or internal calling. External surprises reveal how they respond to circumstances, while internal surprises show capacity for self-initiated growth. This question shows you who they're becoming, not just who they've been. Understanding their capacity for self-surprise prepares you for our final question, which reveals their deepest motivations and truest desires. Question number 5. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? This question strips away fear and reveals their truest desires. This classic inquiry removes the barrier of uncertainty and uncovers what they actually want to do with their life. It shows their dreams, ambitions, and what they believe would bring them fulfillment if circumstances, fear, or practical limitations weren't obstacles. The psychological power of this question lies in how it bypasses the rational mind's tendency to self-edit based on practicality. When we remove the possibility of failure, people's answers reveal their authentic desires rather than their safe choices. It shows you their soul's true direction, unclouded by fear or social expectations. I discovered the transformative power of this question during a conversation with a friend who seemed completely stuck in her career. She'd been complaining for months about feeling unfulfilled at work, but couldn't articulate what she actually wanted to do instead. When I asked what she'd do if she couldn't fail, her entire demeanor changed. "I'd open a counseling practice specifically for teenagers," she said without hesitation. "I'd create a space where they could talk about real issues without judgment: depression, family problems, identity struggles. I'd make mental health support accessible and remove the stigma." Her voice carried an energy I'd never heard before. That answer revealed someone driven by service rather than achievement, someone who valued healing over profit, and someone whose true calling involved helping vulnerable people navigate difficult transitions. 6 months later, she enrolled in a counseling program. Sometimes people just need permission to admit what they really want. The beauty of this question is how it reveals core motivations instantly. Career-driven people might say they'd build a business empire or revolutionize an industry. Creative souls talk about writing novels, making films, or creating art that moves people. Service-oriented individuals describe helping others, solving social problems, or making the world more just. But it's not just what they say, it's how quickly they answer and how their energy shifts. Quick, energetic responses reveal authentic desires they've been carrying but perhaps haven't dared to pursue. Hesitant answers might indicate they've become disconnected from their dreams or have been taught to suppress their true wants. I once asked this to someone who immediately lit up. "I'd travel to every country and document disappearing cultures through photography and storytelling." This revealed someone motivated by adventure, cultural preservation, and creative expression. Qualities that weren't obvious in his conservative business role, but became crucial when we later worked on international projects requiring cultural sensitivity. Another person said, "I'd create a foundation that provides free education to children in underserved communities." This showed values of equality, education, and social justice that guided how she approached every decision, even in our corporate environment. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more who is poor." This question reveals what they truly crave beyond material success. Some crave impact, others crave creativity, still others crave connection or adventure. Pay attention to the scale of their dreams. Do they think globally about changing the world or locally about improving their community? Do they focus on personal fulfillment or serving others? These preferences reveal their fundamental worldview and what motivates them at the deepest level. Notice whether their answer aligns with their current actions. Someone whose dream is to help animals, but who's never volunteered at a shelter, might be disconnected from their values. Someone whose dream involves creativity, but who's pursuing purely practical careers, might be suppressing important parts of themselves. The most revealing aspect is often what they don't mention. If someone never talks about relationships, family, or connection in their impossible scenario, it might indicate they're either very independent or struggling with intimacy. If they never mention personal achievement, they might be primarily other-focused. This question shows you their soul's true direction and what would bring them ultimate fulfillment. When you understand someone's deepest desires, you understand everything about how to connect with them, support them, and predict what will truly motivate them in any situation. Remember, reading someone's thoughts isn't about gaining advantage over them. It's about understanding them deeply enough to build relationships that actually matter. When you truly understand someone's highlights, growth, values, surprises, and dreams, you're not just making conversation, you're creating connection. The most successful people in any field aren't necessarily the smartest or most talented. They're the ones who understand human nature well enough to build meaningful relationships, inspire trust, and create genuine collaboration. If this helped you understand the psychology of human connection, please like this video to help others discover these powerful questions. Subscribe to Stoic Training for more insights into understanding people and building meaningful relationships. Comment below, which question will you try first? I'm curious which one resonates most with you and what you discover when you use it. I'll see you in the next video.